Hi everyone, Andrew here. Welcome to my latest video. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about one of the common arguments that people make in favor of humans eating animal products. The argument goes something like this. Our ancestors, such as hominids that preceded Homo sapiens, had to eat meat in order to evolve into Homo sapiens. Therefore, it is natural to eat meat, and therefore we should continue to eat meat today. Okay, this is an argument that people make, and it's a ridiculous argument. Okay, because first of all, the idea that any hominids had to eat meat is highly problematic. Okay. But secondly, even if it were true that some of our ancestors at some point in our evolution had to eat meat, that would not have anything to do with what modern day Homo sapiens should be doing. Okay? If it is the case that some of our ancestors, some other hominids, needed to eat meat in order to survive or in order to evolve, if eating meat happens to be part of our evolutionary history, which of course it is because we share a common ancestor with every animal on this planet, and some of our ancestors, of course, were carnivores. But even if you look at just hominids, and it turns out that some other hominids needed to eat meat in order to become what we are today, in order to evolve into Homo sapiens, that still, it would not follow from that Homo sapiens need to eat meat, or that eating meat is good for Homo sapiens, much less that modern day Homo sapiens should be eating meat. Okay? But let's go back to the argument. At some point, hominids had to eat meat in order for our brains to grow, right? I mean, this is what I heard in a psychology class. But I remember reading that and hearing that about this hypothesis that the brains of hominids got progressively larger, and Homo sapiens have the largest of all known hominids, right? Based on the fossil records, the very limited fossil records that we have, by the way, because it's not as if we have the skulls of every hominid that has ever lived. We have a very low percentage. We have very, very few fossils. But okay, but that's the idea that hominid species have been growing progressively larger heads and brains. Okay? So, the idea is that we needed to, somebody looks at this evidence and says, well, it must have been that people started eating meat. It must have been that these hominids ate meat, and that's how they got the nutrition that they needed to grow their brains to this size. So this is problematic because it makes no sense to say that we needed to eat meat. No matter what nutrient we're talking about, humans don't need to eat meat. They need to get specific nutrients. Okay? And if growing our brains was important for our evolution, which I don't think we have much reason to believe that it was, but let's just say that it was, or even if it wasn't an important part of our evolution, it is part of our evolution that our brains got larger according to the fossil records that we have. So, and then that our brains today, modern day Homo sapiens, are larger than the brains of earlier hominids that preceded us. Okay, so we needed to eat more of certain nutrients in order to make this possible, right? Okay. And commonly what I hear from people about the nutrients is that we needed to eat more protein or we needed to eat more fat, or we needed to eat more calories, or we needed to eat more of certain minerals. But regardless, whether we're talking about protein, let's start with protein. If we needed to increase our protein intake, does it follow that we needed to eat meat? Absolutely not, right? Meat is not the best source of protein. In fact, there are many, many plant foods that are richer in protein than any animal product, okay? Beans are richer in protein than any animal product, okay? Many seeds, beans are seeds, of course, but many other seeds are also richer in protein than animal products. And many of these seeds are complete proteins that contain all of the amino acids, okay? Green leafy vegetables, such as spinach, kale, Swiss chard, and certain types of lettuce, are even richer in protein than beans and seeds. Okay, much richer, in fact. As much as 40 or 45% of some of these green leafy vegetables, some of the calories in these green leafy vegetables are protein calories. Okay, so there isn't any animal product that can compare with that. The best animal products are around 20%. Beans and some other seeds are around 25%. So if we needed to eat more protein, did we need to eat meat? No. In fact, it would have made a lot more sense to eat other things. And by the way, those are just a few things. There are many, many plants that are extremely rich in protein, including some fruits such as tomatoes and avocados. Okay? But let's go on. Okay, let's say maybe it was calories. Oh, we needed to increase our caloric intake, so we needed to eat meat. Really? Well, again, I'm going to come back to seeds and things that we often refer to as nuts in the United States. Okay, these are richer in calories per gram than any animal product. Okay, I believe the richest foods in terms of calories per gram are things such as peanuts, sunflower seeds, sacha inchi, and many other seeds. Okay? So, maybe it was fat. We needed to eat more fat. Oh, okay. So we had to eat meat in order to get more fat? Wrong again. As far as I know, the food that is richest in fat per calorie or per gram is the sunflower seed. The peanut is right there with it. Many other seeds are right there. Okay? And they are far and above any animal product when it comes to obtaining fat, especially healthy fats. And of course, for obtaining healthy fats, you're not going to do that by eating any animal product, because animal fats are not good for humans to eat. They're bad for us. They cause heart problems, liver problems, brain problems. They cause problems with really virtually all of the vital organs, especially the heart, the brain, the liver, the kidneys, the intestines, the stomach. The list goes on and on. These cause a lot of problems. Okay, so maybe it was minerals or vitamins, other nutrients. Again, meat is not rich in anything. Oh, we needed more iron? Well, if we needed more iron, let's go back to the green leafy vegetables. Far richer in iron than any animal product. Beans are also richer in iron than any animal product. So no matter how you look at it, there is no justification for the hypothesis that hominids needed to eat meat. Now, let me qualify that by saying, of course, there have been Homo sapiens and other hominids. We're talking about individuals now, we're not talking about species. But there have been individual members of many hominid species, probably, that have been isolated in areas in which they would have starved had they not eaten animals because there weren't enough plants around. Okay? That's especially true of hominids that have gone outside of the tropics and subtropics, because these places are horrible places with horrible climates and horrible soil, and they don't have a lot of arable land. So of course it is true that some people have had to eat animals in order to survive. Some of those people have even had to eat members of their same species in order to survive, because they were isolated in areas with no food. Okay? But that has nothing to do with what we should be doing now. It also has nothing to do with what was necessary for our evolution. And as far as knowing what our ancestors ate, we have a very limited body of evidence with which to work, okay, to determine this. Because we don't have fossil records of everybody that's ever lived. When animals die, including humans, okay, our bodies decay over time. And after a certain amount of time, under normal conditions, there will be nothing left for us to analyze. And that's the reality for the vast majority. I mean, we're talking about 99.99999, etc. % of all of the hominids that have ever lived have left no trace at all. We don't have any evidence to suggest that they ate meat or didn't eat meat. So really, the argument that our evolution depended upon eating meat is problematic. The argument that our evolution depended upon eating meat, therefore we should continue to eat meat today, is absolute nonsense. Because even if it were true that we needed to eat meat in order to evolve, that doesn't mean that now the species that we have evolved into, the species that has emerged from the previous species, needs to eat meat. That doesn't make any sense, okay? Some of our ancestors were true herbivores, some of our ancestors were omnivores, and some of our ancestors were true carnivores. This is a fact about human evolution. And what our ancestors ate has nothing to do with what we should be eating today. So this whole argument about evolution, and we should eat meat because it's part of our evolution, it's exactly the same argument as our ancestors ate meat, therefore we should eat meat, which I've already addressed in a previous video. It's a ridiculous argument. What our ancestors did has nothing to do with what we should be doing. So, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click the like button, subscribe to my channel for more videos about veganism and about many other social issues. And as always, thank you for watching.